This is what the home page looks like. Okay, I'm viewing it right now as a student. Okay, so what happens is when you go into content, if you start with the first unit, which is exponential functions, you'll notice that up comes three modules. The next one, the next three modules again. Okay, so if I go to the first unit, and we're interested in module one to start off with. Now the assignment that has to be handed in is crossing curves. So when I click on crossing curves, I have the expectations and everything, but what you're interested in is the content. So it explains a little bit of what it's all about. And then there's the assignment. Now on this assignment, uh, after you complete it, and you can complete it and take a picture of it and send it um, as a JPEG, but you need to, after you've scanned it, there is a link to the Dropbox, okay, which is right here. So when I click on the Dropbox, what will happen is it'll ask you to submit files. So this is where you would upload your picture of your assignment. And then if you want to leave me a little message about your assignment, you can do that. And then at the bottom of the page says the submit. Once it's submitted, then the teacher knows that it's there to be marked. Okay, so I'm going to go back now to the crossing curves assignment. Now, the only problem about doing this by hand is the first email I sent you, I just copied it and it didn't show that these x variables are actually exponents. And so it makes it very difficult for you to do this by hand to graph y equals 27 to the x because it grows very, very quickly. The same thing what happens when it's 27 to the 2x. So I really recommend to do Desmos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you right through Desmos. So I'm going to open up another page because it's actually fairly easy. So I do desmos.com and I am going to launch the calculator and I'm going to enter two equations. The first equation I'm going to put here and I'm just literally typing, I could type it in or I'm going to use the keypad so you can see what I'm doing. So it's y equals 2 and I'm going to put it to the power of, okay, so there's the power of x. And I want to find where that intersects with y equals, let's say, 10 times 3 to the power of, and if I want to put it x plus 1. Okay, so I've just made up those equations, and I don't know if you can see they're both increasing graphs, and actually right here is where the intersection point is. So that's pretty easy. Now, in most cases, however, the number that they give you, they'll cross in a slightly different area. So I'm going to put y equals 10 as my second one. Now, if you notice, it's like I can't see where that second graph is, so I'm just going to zoom out, and there it is up here. Okay, so, and again, it's very, very easy then to see what that point is. So I can write down the point, 3.32, and there's no way that when graphing by hand that you're going to be able to get it accurate to two decimal places. It's pretty near impossible. So then what you would do is you would write that down, 3.32, and what you could do is you could take the snipping tool, which I have down at the bottom, and I'm just going to take a snip. So I'm taking a new snip of it, and I'm just going to highlight it. And so now it's been snipped. I can right click, I can copy it and put it into a Word Perfect, or not Word Perfect, it's not very good, but a Word file, a Microsoft Word file, open Office file. But whatever you send to me, if you can send it to me as either a PDF or an image, that works the best, and that way I can actually mark it using the Mark program and give you any help. it is, as I said, to graph it by hand, there is no way that you're going to get that accuracy. Now, obviously, when I took the snipping tool, I do not have here, I don't have what that point was. Okay, so I need to actually get it from the website. And if you notice, it always will show where the intersection is. So again, you might have to zoom out in order to find it. Okay, because when you first put it in, it won't necessarily be there. Um, but that is actually is I think the much easier and less time consuming. Okay, so there's no way that you can graph some of these by hand in order to get to that accuracy. Okay, hopefully that helps you.